So thank you, Lisa, for being with us. Because this is an area of opportunity for so many people, and especially this time of year, and especially at the end of 2020. So what are you seeing with like your friends, your clients, and all the people that you're helping?
I guess especially with this year, I think that the biggest thing that I'm seeing with my clients and my friends is just living in the space of uncertainty and trying to figure out how to maneuver absolutely everything during this time. Body, mind, soul, spirit, children, careers, relationships. We're such a we're social beings, and just really trying to move through that. So I think that is like, how do I do this? How do I move with this mind, body, spirit, soul situation that we have going on with the world going the way that it is?
It is mind, body, spirit, because, I think of when I used to think of health and wellness, I would always think diet. Because I grew up with, sorry, Mom, if you're listening, the mom that was like, you gained 87 ounces or whatever, whatever it is. I was always hugely conscious. I was a cheerleader, that type of stuff. So I was always, everything around health and wellness to me focused around diet. But and I'll put this quote in the chat because I love it. I read something that said, your diet's not only what you eat, it's what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, the people you hang around. Be mindful of the things you put into your body emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And I think that's so much around the work that you do, but none of us really think of that when we think of health and wellness. We think weight or diet, at least for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think I love that quote first off, because we're always digesting something. And a lot of times what I tell with my clients is like, when they have issues with their physical weight, I always ask them, what are you digesting mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Because everything that you see physically is a manifestation of something that has happened within you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally.
Yes.
So health and wellness it first starts from the inside, and it manifests itself on the outside when it has been going on for a while on the inside of us. So I love that quote. It really is about what we're digesting. Like even this interaction now is a meal for our soul, for our spirits. We are all digesting something in the conversation that we're having.
But that's the part we aren't ever taught to think about. I'm extremely intentional about the people I surround myself with. As you know, I'm extremely cautious about allowing negative people to hang around for too long. But so many of us, especially now in today's, environment and politically charged environment with all the cray-cray people running around out there, people are just getting mean and negative. But that's all part of health and wellness, is making sure we're not taking in too much of that stuff.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. I really limit pretty much everything in my life. Everything in my life, it really is like this. So I went to school for holistic nutrition and medicine. So when I'm sitting with a client and we're talking about nutrition, and we're really focusing on that, we talk about what they're eating, and how much they're eating, and when they're okay. We don't even think about that at a fraction of. So what are you eating emotionally? How much of it you're eating? When are you eating it?
Yep.
And we never think about that. But I've learned over time with just honestly getting physically sick from relationships. There's relationships I've had that have physically, because I'm chronically ill. I was born with kidney disease, which caused a lot of issues in my body. And so I've had to really think about, what am I eating, consuming in the relationships that I have? And I have to say, how much of this I'm eating. First of all, what am I eating? How much am I eating, and digesting it properly? So I think that's something that we need to focus more on. And I think it's definitely something we need to teach our children. Or a cafeteria. It's not that. You don't have to take what's served to you.
And I think that's a great analogy. And we don't learn this as kids. I didn't learn this as a child, at least. I didn't learn this until a couple of years ago. I'm thinking I'm still learning. I'd say maybe it took me till probably about my 40s to get where I was like really conscious of the people I was around, what I was taking in, anything from TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but anything from TV. I joke. That's why the only thing I watch on TV is Nicholas Sparks and Hallmark movies, because that's all good stuff. I mean, I'll throw in a Jason Bourne or John Wick occasionally just when I'm feeling sassy, but it's just making sure that I limit the negativity, because I think it's easier to go down the negative track and the just, feeding that negativity, just like it's way easier to eat a piece of pizza than it is a kale salad. I mean, I do like kale salads, but for most people, they would grab a slice of pizza, all things being equal. So it's just easier to do that.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot easier. Reason why is because it's so gratifying immediately.
That's what I was about to say. Why is that? Is it just because the immediate gratification?
What it does is that even in the brain, and this is all psychological, but in the brain, what happens is that it's a spark. Just to keep it very simple, you get more spark, you get more adrenaline rush inside of you when you're negative. She did it. She did what? And it's like this.
Yeah.
Passion.
You just want to fight somebody. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Am I the only one that wants to fight somebody occasionally when they hear Isaac's over here going, "Yep, it's just you." But it's the adrenaline rush, and I think a lot of us like the adrenaline rush. I have yet to get an adrenaline rush from the kale salad.
No, kale salads don't give you that. It just don't do that for you. Yeah.
But all right, let's think. So how can people start to make some conscious choices around this, around what they allow into their lives? Like if we're taking mental health, diet, exercise, everything. How do we switch to the positive and the good choices?
It all starts with you. And when I work with clients, I always get them go, because what happens, we always think that the issue is outside of ourselves.
Yes. We blame other people.
We blame other people. Yep. We blame situations. We blame our environment. It starts there. And I was like, no, that's not the issue. The issue always starts with you. It's not about what's happening outside of you. And so I think the first thing you do, we have to start with ourselves first. And I say, so what am I digesting physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually that's just not good for me? I tell you first, start physically. Physically. Yep. Like what one thing I can switch out of my diet that will help me feel a little healthier. And that's with the diet. But you take that and you apply it everywhere in your life. What conversations am I having?
Yep.
That when I walk away, I don't feel great about myself or about the conversation or anything.
And those are usually people, because like I'll say that to my clients. I'm like, if you look at your calendar and you're going, ugh, I really don't want to see this client. I really don't want to go to this meeting. Those are things that need to come off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
You look at what you're consuming physically, emotionally, mentally, and then you figure out, now, what do I need to take out? What do I need to substitute? What do I need to just stop altogether? I think if we look like that and start with ourselves first, and be very graceful to yourself first. Right. Like show some grace to yourself. Don't go cold turkey, especially when people don't know why they're making the decisions that they're making. Think about why this is not healthy for me. And I think if you start there, very small, you work your way back up to it. Before you know it, you're like, you know what? I've done a cleanse. I've done an inner and physical and mental cleanse.
And a lot of times, we think of a cleanse and we always think diet, but you're right, it extends to all areas. So my rule of thumb is with people and things and business ventures and whatever, if it's not bringing me joy or moving me closer to my goals, then I need to it probably needs to go, but I need to really, really evaluate it. But I think that extends, like you said, to every area of your life. Every area of your life,
even your time. I remember going to a lot of events. Remember we used to do that?
Oh, yeah, I know. Before, back when we could see people in person, we were out. Yeah.
Yes, click, here they come. But what I would do when I go to any event, I would check myself at the door. You got to check yourself at the door.
Okay.
First of all, I would think about what am I bringing into this space? And what have I decided that I'm going to allow into my space while I'm here?
So you're just asking yourself before you go. Like you said, check yourself at the door. I'm like, check my hair, check my shoes.
Right.
But because we do that. We do that naturally. We're like, okay, hair, shoes, good, check. But we don't say, okay, what do I want to get out of this interaction?
Right, exactly. Okay. The second thing I give myself time here. A lot of times we overextend ourselves and then we're burnt out at the end of the day, or then that space that we're in, we're not enjoying it anymore because you've been there long. So I said, you know what, Lisa, I'm gonna give myself an hour or so in this time, and I'm gonna give everything I am in this time, and then I'm done, and I move on to what, and that's helped me to keep my sanity.
Because a lot of times we just do things and we don't really know why we're doing them. And it's all right. So Tran just commented on our hi Tran. Good morning, Miriam, Eric. I see all you guys watching. So Tran just commented on this. She said, well, first of all, she gave you some kudos, said you helped get her eating in check a few years ago. Hey. But she also said that she goes, she said, what you provide is good for the soul. Life is not an all you can eat buffet. Make healthy choices. And I really like that, because so many of us were like, we just consume. And this is if you go, you said personally, professionally, spiritually, financially too, we become a consumer country, which is leading us into debt, which is creating all these financial challenges for a lot of people. So we're not really stopping to think, is this feeding me the right way? Is it nutritious?
Right. You're right. We're not mindful.
Yeah.
We're not mindful.
Yeah. So how do what are your tactics to get people, I'm a strategy girl. So how do people become more mindful if it's not naturally them? Because I think so many of us are a lot of us are type A and just driven and go. I've been able to get more mindful and more intentional about what I do just as I got older. But, especially if somebody's younger and they think they have to. I don't think you have to do anything. I think all of us have everything we do as a choice. And the sooner anybody can realize that in life, the better off they're going to be. But how do you advise people start to be mindful? Besides checking at the door.
Besides checking yourself at the door. I think what I do, I tell people, try meditation. Meditation is a beautiful way. It's a technique to teach you how to come down and be in your present moment. And kind of get you to get quiet so you can kind of hear the truth about really, because we're just, like you said, we're just going. We're not of our going. And I say to a young person, like I do my kids, I have one that's 34 years old and one that's 20 years old. And I said, you know what? Take a breath. Just stand there for a minute and just breathe in through your nose and out for just 5 breaths. And then ask yourself, is this something I need to do? Is this somewhere I need to be? If it's not something that you need to do or somewhere you need to be, then you need to move on from it and not feel obligated to be places that you don't supposed to be. So I tell people, meditation, breath work, take a minute, just five breaths in and out through your, and that what it does, it realigns you back to what do I really want? What do I really want? You know?